What is there to say about the 2025 Indiana Fever? I know what I'll say. I'll say I was there. I was there watching in preseason when they went back to Iowa and Caitlin Clark's college gym and lit that arena up. I'll say I was there. In Atlanta this year in the first trip there in State Farm Arena when it was sold out, and the Fever got out of there with a close win. I'll say I was there when Caitlin Clark eventually succumbed to injuries. I'll say I was there when um, Sophie Cunningham went out and Kelsey Mitchell soldiered up. I'll say I was there when Ari McDonald broke her foot and Sid Colson tore her ACL. And Chloe Bibby never came back from that knee injury. Damaris Dantas went out with a concussion. Kelsey Mitchell's knee explodes in Game 5 of the semifinals, just out of nowhere. I'll talk about when Aaliyah Boston fouled out when the league, legislated her out of the game. And then I'll talk about when Odyssey Sims turned into a human fireball between the fourth quarter and overtime. And I'll be there, hearing those Stephanie White speeches where she was imploring her players to fight together for the teammates that they lost. And I don't know about you, man. I can't be sad over this. I can't be I can't be upset that the Indiana Fever did not do the seemingly impossible by winning in spite of losing that many players. What this tells me is that the Indiana Fever perhaps left a championship on the table this year. Through good health, they were right there with anybody in the league. It is like, you know, it's bittersweet to watch this team. They showed a camera shot of Caitlin, and Caitlin's been out so long. It's almost like, damn. It's like you even forget that Caitlin Clark is sitting there on the side, and perhaps could have helped in this game. Um, you know, the Aces were going life and death with this team that was, decimated, and the Kelsey Mitchell thing was just terrible. Um, it looked like she could barely put weight on her leg, and maybe it had to end here for the Fever. But man, I'll tell you, that group of players is what I would say is so inspirational. I would imagine to many of you that watched them fight throughout this season, and for me, just seeing it, thinking about the future. The future's bright, man. There's not going to be too many more seasons that end with the Indiana Fever losing their last game. It feels like they're right on the cusp. It feels like days like these aren't going to be the norm. Um, the Mercury and the Aces will go play for the championship, and I'm sure people will enjoy it to a varying degree and all that. But I'm looking at, I just look at that playoff bracket. I'll think about when the Fever upset Atlanta, and I'll think about them giving the Aces hell. They gave the Aces all the Aces wanted. Um, if Kelsey doesn't go down, this whole thing is a what if. I feel like Stephanie White has written her ticket, for as long as she wants to do this, in Indiana. I feel like Sophie Cunningham will be back. I feel like Caitlin Clark is going to come back with a vengeance in year 3. Kelsey Mitchell hopefully is not dealing with an ACL tear or anything like that to sap her of her explosion. It just feels so numb. I would say is the feeling, and many of you can probably share with me what your feelings are watching this game. Odyssey Sims for a second made me think the odds were about to get defied again, and no pun intended to her name. Um, she literally turned into like like Allen Iverson and Dwayne Wade, like just attacking the rim with reckless abandon, catching people out of position, and they had a chance to win it before all the Aces started lofting up those rock and jock style 3-pointers. We started seeing Jewel Lloyd hit threes and Chelsea Gray hitting these ridiculous shots that under no circumstances should ever go in. Jackie Young tried to give the game away at the end, but too much firepower. Too much firepower for the Aces. Asia Wilson, 35. Jackie Young, 30 points, like 10 assists or something like that. It's really not about the stats. I just felt like I saw a team fight so hard. Both teams fought so hard, right? Now, if I'm an Aces fan, you're probably just happy with the win. You probably won't even think about it in the way that I am. If you're going life and death with the zombie fever, essentially, what does that hold? What does that mean? Anything? I don't know. I guess we'll get our answer when they take on Phoenix. But man, the Fever played a special season in light of losing so many players. It just, I think, was inspirational in a way where these women that joined the team were afterthoughts. They were overlooked. They were not valued by anybody. They weren't on rosters, and presumably just keeping themselves in condition in hopes that they get a call. And I imagine going into that situation is difficult in itself because you're there due to, essentially a tragic situation. Like you got to be embraced by this team essentially that needs you, that needs to embrace you. But like, there's a human element to all that stuff. So, Eric McDonald steps in for Caitlin, and it's like, yo, I'm here to be the Caitlin Clark facsimiles, sort of. She goes down, then like Odyssey Sims is coming in, like, yo, I'm here to replace Eric McDonald. Ariel Powers, I'm here to replace Sophie Cunningham, and it's there's just so many personalities. Chloe Bibby came in that all seem to just gel and mesh well. And instead of just playing for themselves and playing for their potential next contract, seemingly, and they're pros, they probably are doing that in their own circumstances. They look like they were really giving a lot of themselves to the team, and it was really fun to watch all this team come together with the Black Air Force energy. And there was just so much that the Indiana Fever accomplished this year. That first winning season in 8 years, Commissioner's Cup champions, and, within a hair of reaching the finals with a decimated roster. It only gets scary from here. It only gets more difficult for the rest of the league. And, you could be a lot of things watching this. I don't think angry is one of them you can be. And I think people will, eventually there will be somebody that will watch this video that will come in the comments and inevitably point and laugh and stuff like that. That's fine. But look, you know what it is down deep. You know what it is. And I don't even need to tell you what it is. But man, I think that the 2025 Indiana Fever have joined, in addition to last year's Fever team, which, won our hearts over. They're the team. They're the team that makes this thing go. I don't think the Aces and Mercury final will have nearly as much interest. No fault of theirs, really. It's just a Fever that lit. And I think that the time will come. And perhaps it's next year. I think they go into next year with that fully healthy roster, presumably Aaliyah Boston in year 4. Caitlin Clark in year 3. Kelsey Mitchell, fresh off first team All W. Presumed health with her leg. Let's hope everything goes well there. Bring back a Sophie Cunningham. Whatever free agent saw this and want to get in on the action. And improve Michaela Tipson in year 2, perhaps stepping into the starting lineup with a departure perhaps of a Natasha Howard. Perhaps getting younger at a few positions. Perhaps bringing a few of the hardship players back. If they make it past protections with the Portland and Toronto teams. I think that this is a time for celebration, man. I'm gonna celebrate the 2025 Indiana Fever, and their whole thing was they needed to honor their teammates that fell. So I'm gonna honor the Indiana Fever. Ain't no sadness here. it is just watching the team and being inspired. And you know, when I go approach the athletic endeavors in my life, you know, when I go to martial arts tomorrow, I'm gonna think like when I'm tired, when I want to give up, when I don't want to hit another push up or something like that, I'm gonna be like, damn. Would Kelsey Mitchell get up if she could? She absolutely would. You know, would Aaliyah Boston get back in the game if the refs didn't foul her out? She absolutely would. Would Caitlin Clark get up? And would Odyssey Sims, lay down like this? Like, there's just so much inspiration to be taken from the 2025 Indiana Fever. And man, it was a pleasure watching them. So it's been a pleasure covering them this year on the channel. We will definitely be talking about the rest of the stuff with the Fever in the off-season news, anything news wise with the players, the coaches, the organization. We will be here on the channel. Do not tune out. We got plenty coming. We'll take a look at the finals. We'll see what's going on with the CBA and Kathy Engelbert. There's a lot of stories that need to be talked about and covered in smart, logical ways. And hopefully, I can do that for you guys. And the 2025 Indiana Fever, we were there, man. Let's take a look at this video from Stephanie White.
We've been in this position before, right? We've been in this position. We gotta play for our teammates. Okay, we gotta fight for our teammates. Okay, tooth and nail. Ain't nobody in a better position to do this than us. Okay, ain't nobody. But we gotta stay locked in. Okay, we gotta stay locked in everything that we do. This, we gotta feel it. Okay, but when we step out on the floor, we gotta honor it. Okay, we gotta honor it in everything that we do. Hey, come on, let's go. Hey, we fight for her right now. Let's go. Together, 3, 1, 2, 3, together.
I appreciate you guys watching. Join the membership tab if you haven't. And what did you think about the 2025 Indiana Fever, man? Peace. It's one lifetime.